is.
Yeah, it's like, but Cowherd, like this is the thing. First of all, I don't care if it's on YouTube. He is the lowest form of life on a national scale that I think I've ever witnessed. Like the way he's putting things, and it's really, yeah, it's bad. Like, and it's just bad all the way around. Just as a human being, it's bad. And then on top of it, don't act like he doesn't know, like that Jimmy is bad. He knows that Jimmy's bad, but he was hoping, out of all hopes, that Jimmy would come out there and do well. He had it. He had his. He was playing with house money. He had his speech ready in case Jimmy was bad. He had his speech ready in case Jimmy was good. And and that's where all the excuses come from, is that, I mean, he's ready for any eventuality. It doesn't matter. He's a win-win. Like, it's always going to be that way. But
It sucks though too, Peter, because I actually grew up on Cowherd. He's
Yeah.
local from Portland, Oregon. He used to be on the local Channel 13 news as the sports anchor, right?
Yeah.
Then he was a local radio guy. And so I followed his career all the way up, and I rooted for him. I always liked him. I do like, he's very intelligent, the way that he talks about things and comes up with different angles. I like a lot of that. But this whole thing with Lance has completely turned me off of anything Colin Cowherd does.
Yeah, I've always thought he was a flip-flopper. I mean, I've been watching him for a long time, like, and not really, when I say watching him, I mean paying attention to what he's saying, like, but I've always thought he was a flip-flopper, and he was just waiting for whichever side ended up. He would say both things and then come back when one of them was true and say, "Oh, look, I told you." And but that's a lot of the national guys. So I didn't really blame him too much. He was just another national guy to me. Like, so I wasn't too surprised. But I just, we're in this position right now, John, to having to listen to a guy like that and the Mike Silvers and those types, because of the situation that we're in with Trey Lance and with Jimmy Garoppolo. And that's a mess that the organization has created. Not to say that they shouldn't have drafted Trey Lance or they shouldn't have kept Jimmy. It's just that they were treading that tightrope, and when you don't make it across, now here we are. Like, here we are, and now you've got to endure all this all year long. We're only at week 3, and people are ready to burn the whole thing down. Like,
I'll say this, Peter, and I know this may be a strong take, but it is what it is to me. If the 49ers do not win on Sunday, and I'm not feeling good about it, I'll say that. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Because if they win, they're in first place. If they do not win on Monday, I really think that we're going to look back on this week against Denver in a year or so down the line and be like, that was officially the end of that team. We keep talking about Super Bowl windows. We keep talking about prime this, and this guy's in his prime, and we got this and that and this and that. We might look back on that Denver game in a year from now, a year and a half from now, and go, that was where I can peg the end of this team as we know it, right? Now, it doesn't mean that they can't retool, because there's still a lot of really good players on this team, but you might see some sweeping changes that you weren't necessarily expecting in order to get over the hump. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. Still hoping that this team can win. And as bad as it is, like I said, they certainly can beat the Rams. And if they do so, they're 2-2 and first in the West, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, no kidding.